So a while ago, some friends showed me this fan game called Freedom Planet. Now, it looked a little bit more interesting than your average Sonic game, mainly for two reasons. One, this game had been featured in non-Sonic related sites, such as more no-name YouTubers than before, and Destructoid. It had also been trying to say it's not really a Sonic fan game and that's merely inspired by Sonic, which is also pretty interesting. But even though the evidence was out there that it was a Sonic fan game, such as being featured on an Emulator game site or featured on Sonic forums, even those, they still wanted to make this game sound like it's not a fan game. So, the only way to experience it is to play it for yourself. So, that's what I decided to do. I decided to play the game. And, trust me, it's bad. So how bad is this game? Well, the first problem starts off when you just go to their website for the game. When you look at their main website, you can already see the characters already have that modern Sonic look, as in every single original character do not steal on DeviantArt. Doesn't help that the main character has spikes, which kind of reminds you of a certain character from a certain game franchise, which shall remain unnamed. Yup. It doesn't help that the fan game makers are actually kind of considering selling it, to the point where the maker of this game actually contacted Sega to try to make sure this game was acceptable to sell or some shit like that, but whatever. Let's actually go on to the game itself, shall we? The first problem with the game is the fact that the game uses the old emulator style controls. Remember in Sonic Generations where I mentioned that the game used emulator style controls where A, you map to one button, B to another key, C to another key? That is what this game does. Keep in mind, this is a PC game and it's using these kind of controls. Alright, so the first thing you'll notice is that the game uses the wannabe indie look that every single other indie game has used for the past so many years. I mean, it's annoying. The second thing you'll see is that, yeah, in-game, it uses the emulator style controls. And yeah, back to the graphics. The graphics aren't that great. The graphics look like, you know, all those indie games you see where they're like, oh my god, we can like look retro because after all, it is so cool to be retro. That is what this game looks like. But it might not have been a problem had the engine underneath it been lightweight. No. This engine powering the game is MultiMedia Fusion. You know the kind of stuff you use when you don't want to learn C++? This is the kind of stuff you'd use. Because after all, it's loaded. The frame rate stuttered a whole lot when I was frapping the game. And not only that, but on my Pentium 4, certain programs will cause the game to run like crap too. For example, loading up WinUAE, an emulator for an Amiga, would cause the game to run slow. Same with certain other programs. So anyways, yeah. The character design is like I mentioned earlier. Original character, do not steal. The music is just, well, not that great really. It's just a bunch of tunes that aren't very memorable and mostly forgettable. You know, just generic video game music that is just not that interesting. Now, as for the gameplay, just like everybody else said, this game is mostly a Sonic fan game. So, the gameplay is mostly based off Sonic, except instead of attacking, like spin dashing and stuff, at least with this character, there's another character, but I can't even bother to unlock it. Because after all, you're supposed to beat the game in a fast time or something. Which I don't have the time to because of the confusing level design of this game. The gameplay is just run around. It's just generic platforming. Nothing really special. Does it really change anything? No. It's just the same platformer stuff you've played. And it doesn't look that great either, like I said earlier. And hey, if you needed any further proof this game is a not that great Sonic fan game, looky here. I got the infamous Sonic 4 Episode 2 glitch to work. Dem physics, just look at them. Yup. This game's just not that great. But anyways, if you really want to see what I'm talking about when I say unoptimized, let me put the game to the ultimate test. Running this game on a Pentium 2. So just how poorly is Freedom Planet coded? Well, what you're looking at here is a Dell Inspiron 3700 from 1999. Running Windows 2000, and has a 466 MHz Celeron processor. Well, not only does the game eat up 80 megabytes of RAM on a normal PC, but, well, a newer PC, but this game was made with MultiMedia Fusion, and it opens up 2 EXEs when you load the game up, even though it's called fp.exe. So let me double click it and show you how well it runs. This is how well the game is optimized, people. So as you can see, it's taking a little while to load, but it loads. It's running okay, for the intro at least. And even though the intro runs pretty well on every computer pretty much, it has a bit of issues when recording, for example the stuttering. So let me show you how amazing this game was optimized and coded. So as soon as it loads, just look at this slideshow. It's really hard to control because of this frame rate lag too. And currently it's eating up all the CPU, 40 megs of RAM because it's using virtual memory, and it's running like crap. As you can clearly see, the game is running so horribly. Just look at this amazing frame rate, even though compared the graphics aren't even that great. Wait, the game just crashed? This is amazing coding, people. And this is why you don't use Multimedia Fusion when you're making games, because on lower end computers it just won't run. And meanwhile, I've got this Pentium 1 right here running a demo, and it's running it a lot better and at 60 FPS too. And yeah, this demo is coded for 486s as well. I mean, seriously, this can run better on a Pentium 1, but hey, the best way to show it off is to show an actual game running. Sonic CD works on this computer too, and it works, well, better than that game does on this one too. Look at this lowly hardware. Only a Pentium 1 120 MHz with only 16 megabytes of RAM. You can't do anything with it. Oh wait, you can play Sonic CD on it. Oh, and it even has Windows 95. Just look at this slow thing booting. It runs Windows 95 and it can play Sonic CD well. Alright, I just installed Sonic CD. Let's play this game. Look here. It's running full speed on a Pentium 1. This is on a Pentium 1, people. It's full speed, it looks better. And guess what? I'm playing with one hand, but still. Look how much better it runs. This game is so much better. It's more fun. It's a better game overall, and it's running a lot better too. So what's the moral of the story? First off, try coding on weaker hardware. Don't just make your game unoptimized, because that way people with netbooks and tablets will thank you later. Second, please don't make 2D graphics that look as pixelated as possible. Nobody likes graphics that are painful on the eyes. And third, if you're going to make a game, don't rip off other games. Especially if you intend to sell them, because later it might come back and bite you. All in all, thanks for watching, and subscribe for more.